Hi, welcome back to Joe Blogs. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to every single person that supported me over the course of the last 24 hours or so, which admittedly was a pretty stressful time. Since I posted that video saying that my YouTube channel had been hacked and completely deleted by YouTube, I've been hit with an overwhelming wave of support. I have had thousands of messages sent directly to me, people saying, come on, keep it going, really love your channel, please don't stop. And that really hit a nerve for me. It told me that I'm doing something right, that I'm on the right track somewhere. But in addition to that, I've had more than 20,000 people subscribe to Joe Blogs 2.0. That is an incredible amount. That is the most that I've ever had by a long chalk in a single day. I also got over 30 people signing up as members to Joe Blogs 2.0, including some people signing up at the top tier. So thank you so much if you're one of the people who signed up as a member. I've had over 100 super thanks sent to me, including some of $50, which is an insane amount. So thank you to every single person who took the time and effort to do that. And I've been bought more than 150 coffees. And some people have bought me multiple coffees. In fact, some people have been crazy enough to buy me 20 in one go. So if you've taken the time and effort to send me a YouTube super thanks or a coffee, or to sign up as a member, or to sign up as a subscriber, or to just send me a message, thank you so much. It's really helped to keep me going, because there were times over the last 24 hours or so that I was thinking, I'm not sure that I want to continue with this YouTube roller coaster ride, because the highs are great, but the lows are pretty low. And the security side of things is something that's really worrying me. And just to update you on that, I've had a security expert in. I've been doing a full audit on all of my equipment, and I'm replacing everything. So I'm going to get new equipment. I'm going to get a new phone, which will be going operational today, new PC, which will also be going live shortly. So I want to get rid of all of the old equipment, because I just don't know where this hack emanated from. And there is a possibility that there's been something lurking on my hardware over the past 6 months or so since the previous hack that has just now sparked up again. So I want to get completely new hardware. I'm also going to close down all of my email communication, so you probably won't be able to get hold of me by email in the future, because I just don't want to speak to anybody that I don't know, because I don't know what's happening, but there is a risk that something is happening with email. So I'm going to eliminate that threat going forward. And basically, I don't want to be doing anything that puts the channel at risk. So I'm not sure that I'm going to be doing any integrations going forward, just as a heads up, and to let you know in terms of the magic of what goes on here at YouTube. I do make some videos in advance, so my usual week, I will make videos that I'm going to post the following day, but sometimes something happens whereby I have to then push that video back, and then I build up a bit of a catalogue. So at the time of the hacking incident, I've got around 4 or 5 videos that were due for release. And some of those videos actually have integrations built into them. So I've held back on publishing them, obviously. Haven't been publishing anything over the last 24 hours or so. And they will be coming out over the course of the next couple of days. So you may be surprised to think, hang on a minute, he's doing an integration just after he was hacked. Well, actually, those integrations have already been filmed. I've made those videos. I just haven't released them. So they will get released because I've got a contractual obligation to do that. But I think in 2025, I'm going to have a serious rethink about whether or not I want to do any integrations. And also with integrations, I do find that it interrupts my flow, because sometimes I just want to make a video and then release it and give you something that's hot off the press. But it's difficult to do that if you're having to get an integration in there, because you have to get approval for it, you send it away, you have to wait for them to come back to you. Generally delays things by a day or 2 or 3. And by that time, sometimes the video isn't quite as fresh as I would like it to be. So the integrations, I find a bit of a headache, a bit of a pain anyway. So I think there's probably time for me to reflect on that and think about whether or not I want to do it. But in terms of what happened, to give you the full rundown of the sequence of events, all of the hacking took place overnight whilst I was asleep. So I was unaware of it until I got up in the morning. But I do have an email trail that's got me to the point of knowing exactly what happened. At 3:22 a.m, I received an email from a viewer called Kevin. I've blanked off his surname to protect his anonymity, but if you're watching, Kevin, thank you so much for sending this, which said was in the middle of watching China tariffs video when it became unavailable. Looks like a bunch of your videos just went private as well. And 11 minutes after that, I received an email from YouTube saying, now live on your channel, Brad Garlinghouse Ripple Crash, which interestingly was the video that was showing live on my channel the previous time that it was hacked back in March of 24. So this was obviously the same group of hackers. 2 minutes later at 3:35 a.m, I received an email from YouTube saying we noticed unusual activity on your channel. It looks like some videos may have been published or edited without your permission, or your channel name or settings may have been changed. To protect you and the YouTube community, we recommend you review your channel and check for any changes you don't recognise. Now obviously, I was asleep at that time, so I wasn't doing any checking of the sort. And then 9 minutes later at 3:44 a.m, I received this message from YouTube saying, we have reviewed your content and found severe or repeated violations of our harmful and dangerous policy. Because of this, we have removed your channel from YouTube. We know this is probably very upsetting news, but it's our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe place for all. If we think a channel severely violates our policies, we take it down to protect other users on the platform. But if you believe we've made the wrong call, you can appeal this decision. And in terms of what that policy says, content that promotes illegal activities isn't allowed on YouTube. This includes content that attempts to gain unauthorized access to a secure system via hacking or phishing. So as you can see from that timeline, the hacking and the subsequent channel takedown all happened within the space of 20 minutes whilst I was happily sleeping. When I got up in the morning, everything had disappeared. So what's been happening since then? Well, I obviously put in an appeal to YouTube and told them exactly what was happening. And that email trail was really quite useful because you have to submit evidence when you claim that there's been a hijacking on your account. So it was quite good that I could actually identify timelines to be able to explain it to them. Now, subsequently, YouTube have said to me that they have confirmed that it was a hijacking incident. So that's obviously good news. They're not blaming me for trying to promote Ripple or whatever that video was promoting. But in terms of getting the channel back, it was a very stressful 24 hours because they said, we're not sure whether or not you can recover your channel or whether you'll get any of your videos back. I had to wait for around 12 hours before I got any access to the channel. And when I did, it was just a shell. When I went to bed last night, this was what my channel was looking like. So you can see that my profile picture had been removed. My name had been put back on by YouTube, but everything else had been deleted. So I still had the 400,000 subscribers, but none of the content was showing. And it was stated that all of the videos had been removed and that they were ineligible for monetization, which basically means that you couldn't earn any money from them. So whilst I had the actual platform back, I didn't have over 1,000 videos that I'd made and published over the past 3 years or so. However, I'm delighted to tell you that when I woke up this morning, all of the content had been reinstated. It hadn't been republished. It was showing as private. I had to go through individually and put every single one of those videos back up and live again. So I've now done that. The main channel is now back up and running and operational. But I wanted to say once again, thank you so much to everybody that supported me through this horribly stressful period, because there have been some really dark moments when I thought, actually, I don't think I'm going to carry on with this. But when I saw the subscriber count literally going up by the second, it was incredible. And all of the messages that I was receiving from everybody saying, please don't stop, please carry on. It sort of told me that I need to keep on this track. So I will get back onto it. I've got some videos ready to go anyway. And I think what I'm going to do over the next week or so is publish those videos on both channels, because I feel that everybody that's on Joe Blogs 2.0 has really got my back. You're my hardcore supporters. This channel almost feels like a special place just for everybody that's sending me positive messages rather than all the trolling that I tend to get on the main channel whenever I post anything about Russia particularly. I get a lot of negativity. So I feel like this is a nicer place to operate on YouTube. So I'm going to run videos on both channels for an interim period, see how it develops, and make a decision as to what to do with Joe Blogs 2.0. But I'm so glad that I kept this channel alive, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have been able to jump straight onto it. And that's really been the benefit for this second round of hacking, that I was ready for it. I was a bit more prepared than the first time, and things have accelerated at a much faster rate. So It hasn't been as devastating in terms of the long-term impact, but it was really useful to have this channel. But in terms of my learning from all of this, what I wanted to share with you is it really is a wake-up call when something like this happens. Because a lot of us go through our daily lives taking everything for granted. You just assume that your job will still be there, all the people you work with will all be there, all the data that you've ever produced will always be there, and everything will just carry on. But when something like this happens out of the blue, when you suddenly lose 3 years' work of work overnight, it really does make you think about how you're approaching life, and also whether or not you've got your work-life balance right. Because are you doing too much work? Are you doing not enough work? Well, probably not. But things like that really come to the fore when you have a situation like this, particularly as we're coming to the end of the year. It tends to be the time when you reflect on what you've done in 2024, how you're going to approach life in 2025. And for me, there are a lot of learning points, and over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'll probably take time to reflect on exactly what's happened, because I'm still in the maelstrom at the moment. 24 hours isn't really long enough to assess the impact of this in terms of taking a step back and thinking, actually, do I want to change the way I'm doing things, the way I'm operating, the way I'm going about doing everything in my everyday life? So over the next couple of weeks, it's always a good time, I think, over the festive period, to be able to kick back a little bit, have a think about how you're going to do things. That's certainly something that I'm going to do. I would encourage all of you to do it as well. Think about what's happened to me. Think about it in the context of your life. If something suddenly happened overnight that you're not expecting, how would you cope with it? Would you do things differently? And maybe you want to think about doing things differently before that happens, rather than having to go through the emergency situation like I've just done. But once again, I'd like to say, before I sign off today, thank you so much to everyone that supported me. Really means a lot to me. It's incredible, the wave of support. I can't really believe it. Thank you if you signed up as a subscriber. Thank you if you watched some of the videos, if you sent me a message, sent me a YouTube super thanks, bought me a coffee, or signed up as a member. Genuinely appreciate every single effort that people have put in over the course of the last 24 hours. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again on the next video.